something Granny Flossie had once told her drifted into Willow's mind.
The thing about worry, child, is that there's the good kind and the bad kind. The good kind is like an animal pricking up an ear to listen to something rustling in the grass. The bad kind is when we give it so much of ourselves that we forget to live and forget to rest, so that when the rustle arrives, we're too tired to actually do anything about it.
Willow had definitely been doing too much of the bad kind of worrying, listening for phantom rustles in the dark. She put her hairy green carpet bag on the ground, close to a clump of spotted purple mushrooms, and ate some more berries, watching the forest come to life. A fife tree stretched as it awoke, and Willow noticed that it was dotted with strange black spots all along its bark. It shivered, almost like it had a cold. Before she could wonder about that, though, a small, hairy creature with a very large beard, known as an elf, darted between the tree's roots, a pile of currant buns in his wrinkly dun-coloured hands. Willow watched him go in surprise. She'd never seen one up close. She was probably staring too hard, because he stopped and made a rude gesture at her, which was Elvish for bog off. Not knowing this, she waved. There was a tiny squeak, followed by a tiny eye roll.
Daft beggar! That big un got another fink comin' if it reckons it's getting its monster mitts on me mam's fresh buns.
Then he dashed away. Willow snorted, stifling a mad impulse to pinch one of the buns just to see the look on his leathery face. Soon afterwards, a soft plume of steam floated up from the mound below, and Willow figured he must be putting the kettle on for tea. She opened up the carpet bag to check on Oswin, the monster from under the bed, and her best friend. He was a species of monster called a kobold, but asleep he looked even more like a cat than usual. His eyelids flickered when she lifted one of his pale paws, and he muttered,
"Just another slice. Don't be shy with that jam."
Willow felt her heart twist as she looked down at him. He hadn't really been himself lately either. His fur had faded, going from a bright lime green to a pale, washed-out khaki colour. There were even some patches of missing fur, which she'd been told were likely due to him worrying about her, and that made Willow feel terrible. So she left him to his dreams and his rest. There was another reason, though, that Willow didn't want to wake Oswin. There was something she wanted to try, and she didn't want an audience or a lecture. Oswin was very fond of those. Inside the hairy carpet bag was a broomstick that had been folded down to a quarter of its size with the help of some elvish reduction rings. They resembled brass curtain rings and had been fitted on each end of the broom. Through a complicated bit of elvish magic, the rings made the broom act a bit like an accordion, compacting down. She'd got them as a gift from her elvish friend, Twist, who tamed the north wind. Twist had visited her by tornado for tea a few weeks earlier and given her the rings so that Willow could always have her broom, Whisper, with her, ready for when she got her magic back. Willow had been touched by Twist's faith just as much as she had been by the gift, which was incredibly useful at times like this, when she wanted to try flying in secret. Chapter 2. Return to the Tower. Willow held onto the elvish rings on each end of her broomstick and pulled until Whisper began to stretch before her eyes. For a moment, she held her breath, her heart filled with hope, but the usual blue glow whenever her hands touched Whisper was gone. Even the tail end, full of pale, beautiful cloud dragon feathers, was now a strange, dull grey, like a sad feather duster. Even though it wasn't the first time she'd seen it like this, it brought a catch to Willow's throat. She put the broom between her legs and begged softly, "Please, Whisper, come back to life. Come back to me." But nothing happened, just as nothing had happened the day before.